Cocaine, now infamous as a destructive drug fueling addiction and crime, has a long and complex history that goes beyond its modern reputation. Its story intertwines with ancient traditions, colonial exploitation, groundbreaking medical discoveries, and devastating societal impacts. Here's the untold journey of cocaine. Long before cocaine became a global scourge, the indigenous peoples of the Andes revered the coca plant as sacred. For over 4,000 years, coca leaves were chewed or brewed into tea to fight fatigue, hunger, and altitude sickness. The leaves also held deep spiritual significance, being used in religious ceremonies and offerings to the gods. The leaves contained minute amounts of cocaine alkaloids, but their traditional use rarely caused addiction due to the natural, unprocessed state of the plant. Indigenous communities viewed coca as a gift from the earth, not as a source of harm. When Spanish colonizers arrived in South America in the 16th century, they quickly recognized coca's potential to boost productivity among indigenous laborers in silver and gold mines. The Spanish encouraged its use, distributing coca leaves to workers to keep them energized and compliant. This marked the first instance of coca being commodified and exploited on a large scale. In the 19th century, European scientists isolated cocaine from coca leaves, and the drug rapidly gained popularity in Western medicine. Sigmund Freud championed it as a treatment for depression and morphine addiction, famously calling it a wonder drug. Cocaine was even an ingredient in early formulations of Coca-Cola. At the time, its addictive potential was not understood. Doctors prescribed cocaine liberally for ailments ranging from toothaches to fatigue. However, as its misuse and harmful effects became evident, governments began regulating its use. By the mid-20th century, cocaine became a lucrative illicit commodity. Cartels in Colombia and other parts of Latin America industrialized its production, fueled by global demand. These cartels grew into violent empires, wielding power through corruption, fear, and bloodshed. The Medellin and Cali cartels, led by figures like Pablo Escobar, turned cocaine into a billion-dollar industry. Entire communities were caught in the crossfire of drug wars, and governments struggled to curb the trade despite massive investments in anti-drug operations. While much of the focus has been on addicts in wealthy countries, the untold story of cocaine includes the suffering of those in its production and trafficking chain. Farmers growing coca often do so out of economic desperation, facing pressure from cartels and government forces alike. Rural communities bear the brunt of environmental destruction caused by illegal cultivation and eradication efforts, while violence displaces countless families. Today, cocaine remains a global issue, with addiction rates rising and new trafficking routes emerging. Synthetic drugs and designer stimulants now compete with cocaine, but its demand persists. Meanwhile, debates rage over how to address the crisis through stricter law enforcement or harm reduction approaches like decriminalization and treatment programs. The story of cocaine is not just one of destruction, it's also one of cultural significance, scientific discovery, and global interconnectedness. To understand cocaine fully, we must look beyond its status as an illicit drug and recognize its roots in human history and the socioeconomic systems that continue to drive its production and use. Addressing the cocaine crisis requires more than enforcement. It demands a nuanced approach that considers its historical, cultural, and economic dimensions. Only then can we hope to rewrite the narrative of this powerful substance.